Well, I've been chewed up and I've been spit out, and it's all my fault. No, there ain't no doubt. All the flags are red, but I was too colorblind.
You're listening to WeP3 Radio, produced with the partnership from Reads Across America Radio and the mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach your future generations the value of freedom created by the men and women who have served our country. Currently playing on WeP3 Radio, Donnie Reese, Leaving Sense.
I don't know when to go, I don't know when I've crossed that line. But oh, that leaving sense, whoa, that leaving sense, it ain't no sense of mine. Oh, no, it ain't no sense of mine. Guess my mama was right, I'm like my daddy. Sometimes get the feeling so right, it's all sense of time. Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Trucker.
Tom Cruise, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 and 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Trucker.
Good evening, Andrea Eichmann here. I'm sorry I'm giggling because Peterson's not usually here with me, but look at this. There he is. Poof. Hey, this is the People's Patriot Project, and we are bringing you our weekly show and podcast that we call We Got Your 6 at 6. Every week we bring you a guest, and a lot of times we bring a new artist or at least some music, and we share good things and sometimes not so good things that are happening in our world. This week, we get to meet the researcher and designer of the Temple Massager, Mr. Joe Meisch. Cannot wait to hear. I heard some about it, but I hear there's even more. So it's going to be exciting to hear this. You know what? We had a music cancellation tonight. We hope that our scheduled guest makes it home safe and sound, but the rest of the music will be a surprise to those of you who have no clue what we might bring in. Our sponsors for tonight's show include Green Hills Contracting. It's a veteran-owned and operated contracting company out of Moberly, Missouri. Thank you to Mr. Tim Newton. Catch 22, Operation Texas Strong, the Boho Hobos Hideaway, and our very own Kimmer Gwinner, who is ill tonight. We're hoping she feels better soon. Usually she brings a couple words to share in the form of poetry. So since she's not here, oh my gosh, check this out. You can check out her. She's got more coming too. But by the way, it is Healing Like a Warrior, My Healing Avenue, and continuing on My Healing Avenue. You can check that out. Mr. Iozio is also a great poet. We have got Mr. Brian Kenzer, who with his business, Smart Living Today, this is all about getting on the right side of your health, supporting American families, the jobs and the economy, and supporting the WeP3 mission while you are shopping. A little secret about Brian, he'll be back in a couple weeks. He's off on some island in the Caribbean, just enjoying life, which he should be doing. We can be heard on Rees Across America Radio, our podcast forum, on Sunday evenings at 11 p.m. Eastern time. We can be found, just go to reescrossamerica.org/radio. They are amazing people, just doing all the right stuff out there. We thank our sponsors, our guests, and our viewers. Before we start this week's show, we would ask that you take off your hats, stand, cover your heart, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute.
Boom! Here comes a. Boom.
Dude, I saw your soundboard. Where is it?
What do you mean you saw it? Where is it? What do you want to know?
I saw it. You sent me a picture of your gigantic screen monitor thingy. My hands get fuzzy. Yeah, monitor. And it had your soundboard on it, on the one on the side. Okay, can't hear it. Okay. I was going to share Brian Kenzer's link here in a minute. Yeah, because he's not here to share it himself. What the heck?
Well, welcome. We are here. This is our Sunday evening show, the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. We come here every week so that a boots on the ground influencer, a nonprofit, someone who's got a mission can share what they're all about. As Andrea said, we also usually have a musician, and you know what? When things happen and life happens, when you do a live show, one of the things you got to deal with. And so Ryan has reached out to us. We know what's going on. He knows what's going on. And we've already got him booked for another date. So that's just the way life goes. We, as you know, have a ton of music content. I could literally argue. Prove me wrong. I can literally argue that we, the People's Patriot Project, and We Got You 6 at 6, and We P3 Radio has the largest veteran content radio station in the entire world. I want to say that. I will argue we have the most artists that have served their country, and we work our tails off to get it done. And we are very prideful of the amount of time and effort we put into that and the relationships we've built. And so, you know what? We got some good stuff. And if you're not listening to WeP3 Radio during your daytime, it is not a bunch of cadences. It is not a bunch of some of our brothers and sisters out there doing radio or doing podcast live stream are doing radio stations that just have podcasts. We don't even have our podcasts on our radio station yet. It's coming. But it is essential to get our beacon, our green, our message out to the world. But tonight's not about us. Tonight is about Mr. Joe Meisch and his amazing product. I actually have one sitting here, right here. This is what it looks like. I have used it, probably not as much as I probably should, could, or want to, but I have used it. And the absolute exhilaration and passion this man has in his device and what it can do, I'm excited for it too. I actually have been working with him to take it in another direction. Not that he hadn't thought about it, but we kind of work in that area, so it fits. But Joe, I got to put you on hold for a second, brother, because I do this all the time and I don't follow the script the way I'm supposed to. And I'm going to welcome everyone, Jonathan Crochet, with this week's news.
Oh, I wasn't ready. So March is National Women's History Month. And since 1987, the United States has formally recognized March as the National Women's History Month. Every woman has a story to tell and gifts to share with the world. And this month is about honoring magnificent ladies. And we are ready to celebrate it in the fullest. Women's History Month celebrates the often overlooked contributions of women in history, society, and culture. In 2024, the theme was Women Who Advocate for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. The theme for 2025 is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. This theme highlights the impactful roles that women have played in education and leadership, inspiring future generations. It emphasizes the power of women working together to create a positive change. We have our very own woman who happens to be an educator in the room tonight. Andrea, thank you. March 13th is K-9 Veterans Day. K-9 serve vital roles in the military and law enforcement. They get embedded in Border Patrol, Customs, airports, Coast Guard, FBI, police, even in the Secret Service. Service dogs often risk their lives and their health to accomplish their missions and deserve to have their efforts recognized as well. In 2019, the K-9 protection and detection dog named Kuno served in direct support of specialist United Kingdom and host nation forces in Afghanistan. His job was to detect explosives, find hidden weapons, and incapacitate the enemy when ordered to do so. He successfully conducted 16 operations over a 5-month period. During one operation in May of 2019, Kuno was released to incapacitate an enemy insurgent through heavy machine gun fire and was shot in his hind legs. He soldiered on and successfully completed the mission despite his wounds. Kuno's injuries were severe, and he would lose his rear paw, and it took months of rehabilitation just for him to walk again. And this is just an example of the many animals that risk their health and life to save human lives. Yes, last year we had the Shock and Awe Festival down here in South Louisiana, and we had a couple of local police officers come out and put on a demonstration with some of the canine dogs, and it's remarkable how well trained these animals are. If you ever get a chance to see something like that, I highly recommend it. It's pretty amazing. March 16th, I will get this link posted as soon as I'm done here. But Reads Across America honors the Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 with a special remembrance ceremony. The flight was chartered by the United States Army, would disappear on March 16, 1962, over the Western Pacific Ocean. All 107 people on board were declared dead or missing. Of those 107, 96 were military passengers. The airliner's disappearance prompted one of the largest air and sea searches in the history of the Pacific. Aircraft and surface ships from 4 branches of the United States military searched more than 144,000 square miles during the course of 8 days. A civilian tanker observed what appeared to be an in-flight explosion that was believed to be the missing Super Constellation, though no trace of wreckage or debris was ever recovered. Flight 739 was one of 2 Flying Tiger Line flights with military connections that have been destroyed under similar circumstances on the same day, leading some to suggest sabotage or possible conspiracy. Andrea and Mark may have a little more on the Reads Across America side of things that they could share, but that is all that I have in the news for tonight.
Thank you for sharing, brother. Thank you. Real quick, we're going to move on to our call to action. I am going to get a graphic made up. First of all, the amazing Michael Madsen, Foxhole Radio Network down there, giving a shout out. Tony Woodman, good to see you here. Derek Iozio, I saw you up there. We got a lot of comments in here already, so bear with me. Derek Iozio, Susan Alloway, good to see you, sister. Thanks for being here. Sorry, I don't know what I was going to say. Something really stupid. None about anything there, but whatever. I have my moments. So, call to action. Here we go. Boom.
Wait, before you start, can I talk about the tiger flight?
Yeah.
Because I put it in the news because we were out at the tree farm, I guess you call it, where out in Maine, where they make all the wreaths for Reads Across America. And it's the Worcester family, and their family business is the tree farm. And they take the tips, so the tips off the branches, and they make the wreaths out of all of those. And Merle, he's just very, very patriotic guy. And he knew about this tiger flight. And they have heard that the families of these soldiers and support teams were, I think 3 times they took it to Congress and asked for those names to be added to the wall, the remembrance wall. And they've been denied every time. And I know nothing. I would guess maybe they still are considered MIA because nothing has ever been found. And so Merle couldn't stand it. So he built a memorial. He got a big, huge granite stone, and he had their names engraved. It all shined up and had them engraved, put a huge flag, and there's beautiful flowers all around it. And he set up benches, and he invited those families out so that they could honor those who they don't need recognition, but they need to know. They need to say their names and have a place for them. And so, that's just one of the amazing things that the Worcester family does up there at the Wreath Farm. They own tons of hill land up there. They call it the tip line with all the evergreen trees. It's beautiful and it's amazing. And that was just one really, really touching thing that he's done. Was to honor that tiger flight group and their families. So that's where that came from.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a whole backstory to that, and Mr. Worcester, because there's no R's in Maine. Just as a passionate man who just doesn't want to let anyone go unremembered, man. And that was important for him. And so if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. And you should go check out the things the Worcester's family is doing up in Maine. They're doing amazing things. And Reads Across America is one of those things as well. So back to our call to action. We are calling this and dubbing this Check Your Six, because first of all, you should be cognizant of your space. You should look around, check it out. Check out your six, know where you are, know what you're doing. If you need supports, reach out for supports. If you need help, reach out for help. But at the same time, what we'd like you to do is type in on a message thread, just thinking about you. We could just say, just checking in on you. And cut and paste that and send that to 6 people in your contact list. There's a lot of reasons why we do this. First of all, it's action. It's not just talking about it, it's being about it. Second of all, we've had some people complain about what others do about making a difference and trying to get out there and make a change. Some of those differences fall along the line of some people choose to do push-ups. If you want to do push-ups, go do push-ups. And if someone has something to say about it, let me know. Let me know. We'll talk about it. If you want to do a ruck march for 10 miles, go ahead and do a ruck march for 10 miles. I'm not super excited about doing ruck marches anymore. I've done a couple, and the after effects aren't always pleasant for me, but it is what it is. And if you want to go do a ruck march, go do your ruck march. And you know what? If you're not doing anything and you're bitching and complaining about what others are doing, check yourself. That's where it comes down to. Check yourself. It is a chance for you to be a proactive process of making a difference. The other great piece of this is, it's not a great piece, it's just pick one relationship in your life, because now your brains are going to start thinking right now. It's going to start spinning. You got that one person that things got sideways over something dumb. Maybe you don't even remember what the reason was, but they're not in your life. You're not in their life. You're not. Make that text. Do it. Just checking on you. Just seeing how you are. It doesn't hurt. And sorry, not sorry. It's building that relationship. That's our call to action. I do a boom. I do a big boom. Oh, the computer's not working the way it's supposed to. Now, folks, that sounds like thunder. It still sounds like thunder. They say it's a boom, but that sounds like thunder. I don't want thunder, but we'll work on that one too. We got
I don't think we heard it.
Yeah, we didn't hear it. No.
I don't think we heard it.
So sad.
Technology is amazing, though. Technology is amazing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Tell me if my microphone goes completely away, please, because it should be still here. It should be still here. Should be still here. So you didn't hear any of the sounds at the beginning of the show either. Because of there you go. Do we need to do this again?
Here comes the y'all don't really want it like here comes the y'all.
That was at the beginning of the show.
I say do it. I mean, I like getting 5, 6, 7 emails a week.
Yeah. I'm just saying that we're still I get it. Yeah. We got this cool cat above me right here. He came in. Did you guys see Kenzer came in for a second? What, he just left?
Oh, I didn't see him come in. Ooh.
He was for a second.
Yeah.
Michael Madsen, I can guarantee you that will not be doing any push-ups. He's not going to do them. Fair enough, brother. Fair enough. Or for some of us, it's kind of become like a teeter-totter. So it's not really a push-up. You just kind of teeter-totter.
Oh my
back and forth.
gosh.
That's funny.
Do the knee ones count? Can you do the knee ones? I know that's wussy and all, but
I will not do a push-up if I have to do the knee ones.
Dude, when I'm on that ball and I'm balancing on my elbows and she says lift up one leg, I am immediately on my knee. That's not fair.
You're creating visuals. You're creating visuals none of us want to see, just so you know.
Stop.
Don't do that either. We got to go back to the G part of the game, and we're going to bring our good friend, Joe Meisch in. Joe, tell us who you are. Tell us about your service, and tell us what you're working on.
Right on. Well, thanks for having me on your show. I'm always grateful to be able to be on a podcast like this, and honestly, because it's a veteran-oriented program, I get a taste of that camaraderie and that teamwork that we all once got to live in a culture of when we did serve. So I get a little taste of that back when I get to do a show like yours. So thank you guys for all you guys for having me on, for sure. I was a 12 Bravo combat engineer, and I had a secondary MOS as a 62 Juliet equipment operator. And so I served in a reserve unit, guard unit, and a bunch of TDY, and was serving during the first Gulf War. And we got a frago to deploy, but then we got demobbed. And so I was not in combat. Combat engineer obviously refers to my MOS title. So that was pretty much the extent of it. I enjoyed my time, did 13 years. And, what can I say? I take all those skills and this training, and like I maximize my military career out, man. I used my GI Bill. I got a AA degree. At the time, I had the student guaranteed repayment loan, or whatever they call it, STLIC, I think. And I got a 4-year degree. Then I got to go work in gold mining and study geology or science. And so every bit of my military career, I still use to this day in my my business, and that's invaluable training and skill set and working with people. I didn't get much rank. I had more fun than I had rank, I like to say. And I enjoyed being a grunt. I like the smell of earth, and I'm kind of a down-home guy in that sense. And so just, the camaraderie and everything was great. Good times, bad times, they all come together. It's the same roll up, right? So it's my military career, and it ended up serving me quite well as an entrepreneur with regards to what I'm doing today on this temple massager thing. And then I dig the title of your show because I'm actually a papered son of the American Revolution. I have a family member that fought the British out of Massachusetts, first to fight. And so that's Jonathan Hobby. He's buried with honors in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. So I'm a descendant of the first to fight colony. And so I dig the Patriot side of your title, of your show, for sure, guys and gals. And so, without further ado, lived a lot of life. I found myself actually writing comedy down in LA. I wrote for the beating that I was taking in developing the temple massager. I like to make fun of things and myself and satire and everything. And I wrote this funny show, ridiculous show that was kind of based ridiculously on what I was going through in the temple massager development. And so I literally was doing a construction job in San Francisco on a remodel. And one of the dudes on the job site was Michael Meehan. He's a comedian from the Meehan brothers. And I got to talk with them, and I had filmed this little pilot the best I could do. I showed it to him. He loved it. Next thing I know, he introduces me to Martin Olson, this guy, writer in TV world, in Hollywood, whatever. And then he introduces me to Michael Weinberg. And the next thing I know, I'm on Sony Studios lot writing with Michael Weinberg. He was an executive producer of David Spade Show, America's Got Talent. And it happened so fast, I was blown away. I didn't have a Hollywood movie, TV desire. You know what I mean? It's just, I wrote something funny. I'm not even in it. I just wrote it, produced it, filmed it, etc. And so then I literally got an offer from Spike TV through Comedy Central. And at the same time, I got a rudimentary form with a temple massager. And I'm donating them. Like, I've donated over 6,000 temple massagers to service members and veterans globally. And so at the time I got this offer to buy a TV show from Spike TV, I couldn't do both, for lack of a better word, man. I couldn't develop the temple massager and I couldn't go write comedy. And so I kept getting letters from, like, I've donated extensively to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, Bethesda National Naval Medical Center, National Intrepid Center of Excellence. I looped in Warner Music, Rhino Entertainment, and the Grateful Dead. And they actually gave me free licensing agreements. So I would go to some Dead shows and sell Grateful Dead artwork to people at the Dead shows. And then that would raise money so I could go to the factory, the Made USA factory, that is, to pay for products that I would then donate to Walter Reed, Bethesda, NICO, and veterans through through veteran service organizations. And so literally, my buddy Mike was KIA in Iraq from an IED. He was my supervisor when I got out. And so, I'm wrestling. And then I had a guy drowned on me, Private Curtis Young. And so I served with two guys that gave all. And so here I am, like, do I do this comedy writing thing? It's an amazing experience. Here I am. I'm lucky beyond belief. Happen to have a stupid enough idea that was funny. And here I am. And I got an offer, and then I had to weigh things, and I chose to walk away because the temple massager meant more to me. And I committed to two dudes' memories, Private Curtis Young, Sergeant First Class Michael Ottolini. Those are the two brothers I served with that gave all. And so when I would send temple massagers out, I donate, etc. Like I told you, Walter Reed, Bethesda, veterans individually, service members. I send to Iraq, Afghanistan, forward operating bases, letters from combat commanders. You have those letters, Mark.
Yeah.
So I just put it out there to people. I don't run my mouth, period. If I can't back up with a letter something that I'm talking about, I don't talk about it. So it was important for me when I communicated with you initially to send you those documents. And so I got these letters from Walter Reed and these feedback letters. And I was like, I can't walk away from this. I'm not worth a shit. If I'm a Patriot descendant and I serve with two brothers that gave all, I'm going to walk away. It was hilarious because like 6 months later, my agent calls me, what the hell happened to you? Where'd you go? And I told her, what's up? I'm like, look, I didn't tell you, but I got this thing I invented and I'm helping people with it. And I couldn't do both. And she was like, I can't believe you walked away from the deal. I'm like, well, I did. Because my fiber of my being is, blue collar working class and service member, veteran oriented. And so it was pretty much a no brainer. Wasn't easy to walk away from, a TV thing and all that brings. And so anyway, had a little taste of it, walked away. I'm glad, no regrets, never second thought it. And here we are now working with police departments and 911 dispatchers, fire departments, first responders in general. And I'm communicating with the Air Force air traffic controllers through the Spark Phoenix Lab. It's the Air Force's innovation lab. And I'll stop there and give it a break. And that's, I guess, maybe the background of where I came from, how I did it, some sacrifices I had to make, personal decisions that I found absolutely worthy of making. And there you go, man. Fire away.
No, excellent. I mean, this is who we are. This is what he's doing. It's proven. He's always been part of the mission. We'll introduce this. It's going to be kind of hard to see this because it's a blue one. We've been teasing a little bit. This is complete a tease now, Joe. If it was WP3 green, this would just be popping right now.
It would.
But this is the device here. Oh, we got people, and you do it this whole space right here, and it puts pressure on, and then you can take it up the temple. And the cool thing is, there's a little sniffer thing right here that we have some essential oils on, and I'm telling you what, I don't get to use it as much as I want because it puts me to sleep. To be honest with you, it just drains everything and it goes away, and life is good, and it covers all the bases. And I just, again, the side nuance of this, this thing fits in education, and so we're pushing it towards education, but that whole PTSD, the whole and Joel's, I'm not smart enough. This is me. This is why I get to run a show, because I don't have to learn the technical stuff. And Joe's going to share that stuff with you here in a minute, but we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll come back and hear everything about it. Oh, Susan says it's supposed to make me go to sleep. Well, it might be the 3 hours of moments I never mind. Well,
What?
I don't know. I'm having a moment here. I'm all over the place. Hey, so because we don't have a musician, we're doing kind of our hot pot experience where we just go back into our past artists. I tell you what, man, there's a band that's playing down in Nashville right now. They're in the process, just communicated with them. They're in the process of rebranding right now. They are named Lake and Lindell. And that's really, if you're from Minnesota, which is only two of us on this screen, that is a vibrant part of our community and our world. It is down in Minneapolis area. Link Bride Bulls right down there. It's part of our life. Anyway, we are going to play the amazing Lake and Lindell, Still Here. Check them out.
I can't say for certain that there's any gold left in these hills. Perseverance pays us all, they say, and I just pray that it will. Each night the wolves howl, I scream back so they think I feel no fear. While I try to fall asleep, they just laugh and wonder why I'm still here. But I'm still here. I'm still here. I watch the flicker in the flame. I stay the same Planet all my pennies, call it gambling, 'cause there's no guarantee that I'll see any return, or did I bury all I have with this dream? Doubters call me crazy, saying that it's just a matter of time, waiting for the day I pack my bags so they can say that they were right. They were right.
That is Lake and Lindale still here.
Very cool.
I love that.
Yeah. How fun is that?
I was just thinking, should I say? I don't talk to myself. I think. I was just thinking that this is one of those songs that I catch myself singing 2 or 3 days in a row after I hear it because it's got a good hook on it.
Yeah.
I want to read this because the people who are going to listen to this in podcast version don't get to hear the testimony. But this is from Susan Alloway, and she says, "I've used Joe's temple massager since 2011 when we first met. He is a steadfast friend, and so is my temple massager. It has calmed me, healed me, and fixed me every day since. Everyone should have at least one in their home, and mine travels with me."
Right on, Susan.
How fun is that?
Real deal.
Oh my gosh. And
Real
just
deal.
knowing that we get to watch this thing grow and just knowing kind of what the next thing is and the next step is. So we do have an online store. We're in the process of rebranding some stuff, folks, just so that you know. But I want to comment on Jonathan's hat because it's kind of eye-catching, and it's not something that we have out there for other people to have. Granted, I would love for other people to have. Jonathan, do people comment on that hat?
I have part of my Christmas present to myself was I went and bought 4 hats and took them and had them embroidered with our logo.
Nice.
To kind of get a feel of how much it would cost and the time frame for future events and things like that, and B, because I like hats. But no, this one is sorry, mosquito. This one is the first time I've worn this one, but the other 2 hats that I have, they definitely get compliments.
The green pop.
It really breaks my heart that you have mosquitoes right now, Jonathan.
It's this freezing cold 68-ish around here right now, I guess.
Right.
So Joe's coming from Northern California. Jonathan's coming from Louisiana. And Andrea and myself are coming from the great state of Minnesota. And so we're in the midst of our transition, the transition from brown snow to brown grass and mud.
So, it was we caught a decent amount of snow, which is something we don't actually ever do. We had 8 inches of snow this year, and it was kind of weird because after they cut the sugar cane, it starts growing up, and it was probably a foot or so tall when we caught the snow. And for a while after the snow melted, which, it took like 3 days, but after the snow melted, everywhere you drove, it kind of looked like wheat fields because all the sugar cane, the leaves had died, and it was just brown.
Oh, sure.
It was a completely different look that I've never seen before.
Does that affect the sugarcane harvest at that point then, or does it just start rolling again?
Probably, since it was early on, I would say probably not. They're green and growing already. So
get back to Joe.
Yo.
Tell us about your product, brother.
Okay, so at the end of my Army career, I'm stressing out. I'm holding all my stress in my temporomandibular joints where your jawbone connects to your head, literally, TMJ, temporomandibular joint. So when you're constantly compressing it from clenching your jaw, I've cracked molars, flattened my teeth. I just am one of those guys that holds my stress in my face. And so once you overmax those muscles, that's your masseter, up here's your temporalis. That's how you move your jaw. This is the most complex joint in the human body, TMJ. So when you have a disorder, it's called TMD, temporomandibular disorder. So most people say, oh, I have TMJ. Well, that's referring to the joint. What they really mean to say is TMD. So I had it, right? I'm overmaxing my musculature. My face is stressing. I'm kind of an intense dude anyway. And so there's a lot of stress going on. I'm getting migraine headaches. I get an aura in my left eye at about 45 degrees out. Suddenly my vision goes away. And it's weird. Only my left eye, and at about 45. As I'm sitting here looking out, it's about 45 degrees out. Looks like sunlight glistening off of water. I can't see my hand, right? So checked with doctors, and they're like, you're about to have the biggest headache in your life. Boom, started getting migraines. One day, I'm literally coming back from an Allman Brothers concert, and the aura's starting, and I'm driving. I'm the designated driver. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the worst time I could get, a migraine. I'm the responsible driver here. This sucks. The oncoming headlights were killing my eyes. Kind of driving like this, blocking the light. Literally had my sunglasses like up on my head like this. And for some reason, I just pulled them down, and I was going, okay, this is simultaneously hitting both eyes. So I'm literally rubbing my eyes like this with my glasses. I'm driving the car, got my hand on the wheel, and I felt relief. And I literally, in my head, I'm like, man, you know what? I'm going to go buy a temple massager tomorrow. I got to go get one. Well, the answer is no, you're not. Didn't exist. I looked everywhere in every capacity. I looked and looked and looked and looked. And then the little spark, light bulb thing. I'm like, whoa, did I stumble onto something here? And then that was the case. So I consulted with patent attorneys. And, I'm coming from working class cloth of our society. And so when I talked to the patent attorney, he's like, do a patent search, $800. Okay, boom, boom, boom. I'm doing construction. I can handle that. And then he comes back and says, there's nothing out there. I think you should go ahead and file a patent for this. I'm whatever, $350 an hour. I'm like, okay, that I can't afford. So he's like, well, you went to college and smart guy. How about you go write the patent based on all these other patents that already been approved, fill in your information, do a boilerplate kind of swap out, right? Get it to me. I come through it. I charge you minimal. So I did that. I literally wrote my own patent, had the attorney go through it with all the legalese. Really long story short, boom, I get a patent. Could not believe it. And so I'm literally the guy that invented the temple massager. And so go through the whole thing of donating thousands because my friends went to war. I just got out. 9/11 happened. I'm donating. I walk away from the Hollywood thing. And then I start getting all this feedback from veterans. Hey, man, it stops me from thinking. I feel calm. Like Jonathan or Mark was talking about, you feel tired. Feel like you want to go to sleep. So I get all this feedback, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? I just wanted my jaw pain and headaches to go away, but I'm getting like mental health feedback. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So I ended up working with this guy, Mark Abramson, who founded the Stanford School of Medicine Mindfulness-Based Stress Clinic. He's like a big guru. He's retired now, but he's legitimately from the Stanford School of Medicine. So he talks with me, and he says, Joe, you don't just have a jaw massage tool. You've got a mental health tool. Because what's going on is when you're rubbing on your trigeminal nerve right here, this nerve right here is called your trigeminal nerve. That's why there's a hole in the human cranium right here, because you got a nerve that comes out. Well, that nerve is on both sides, and they call it the trigeminal nerve, right? Well, it's the entire net of nerves to your face and your teeth. Your nose and your eyes nerves go right back to the brain. So I'm not talking about them. So Mark's like, Joe, when you go get a haircut, kind of feels good. Like you can almost go to sleep. When you go get a massage, kind of feels good. Like you walk out of there and you just feel like light. You feel good. You feel good. And he's like, that is called autonomic nervous system stimulation, haircut, massage. Your thing is triggering that. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. I studied rocks and gold mining and stuff, right? So I'm like learning. And so he says, you have reoccurring data points. In other words, people are reporting calming, anxiety relief, and headaches from Iraq, Afghanistan, Walter Reed, all over the United States. If you donate 6,000, it's hard to get feedback, but I got some feedback. So it's reoccurring. That means it's a pattern. So he's like, you've demonstrated that you're getting reoccurring, geographically diverse feedback that's corroborated anecdotal data. And it's the calming thing. Your thing is triggering the relaxation response. Your temple massager is triggering the relaxation response through autonomic nerve stimulation. And that is characterized by the brain chemistry of increased dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. And that's why people tell me, I just feel calm after I use it, or I feel sleepy, or it stops me from thinking. And so just pure discovery. That was never by design. And it just goes to show, I always encourage people, and I'll put it out there right now, any veterans that are listening, if you have an idea for any kind of product idea, I'm free. Because let me tell you, there's a bunch of people out there that will take your money and give you limited micro bits of information. I will give any veteran A to Z what I got. I'm free. So just put that out there. Mark's got all my contact. He can share it with you. So I get all this feedback. I'm like, wow, I have a mental health tool. That's incredible. I didn't see that coming. So that's autonomic nerve stimulation, like getting a haircut or massage. Now, the aromatherapy component Mark was talking about, that is your nose. So that's your olfactory nerve. And if you didn't notice, I have a big olfactory nerve. So this thing is providing simultaneous autonomic nerve and olfactory nerve stimulation. Nobody has ever done that on planet Earth. Otherwise, it'd be out there and I wouldn't have gotten a patent, right? So I get all this feedback, literally letters from combat commanders, Walter Reed, the whole shebang. And then I basically had to get a pilot study. Nobody wants to talk to you when you've got something new. What's that hippy dippy bullshit forked stick, Joe? Go away, right? You're just some guy in a cabin in the woods, Army vet. What do you know? You don't know neuroscience. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I learned in the military and I learned in college and I learned how to learn. And that shit pisses me off. And there's no way in hell I'm going to sit back and listen to that kind of talk. I'm smart enough to write my patent. I'm smart enough to bring this through. Oh, well, Joe, the inventors don't bring it to the business world. You can't do both. You can't be the inventor, the idea guy, and the business guy. And I'm like, okay, now you did it, Tell somebody they can't do something, FAFO. Because I'm coming from my servitude guys that gave all. So excuse my, is it okay to use foul language, man, if I slip up? Okay. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. And so I just get serious. I get pissed off and I'm like, okay, you got a challenge, brother. So you're a lucky man to have a challenge, right? In the military, it was always like you fail to challenge yourself if a mistake or something happens and you don't conform or meet the standard for the mission success. You got to challenge yourself. I kept hearing that through the military. So in my mind, I go look in the mirror and I'm like, dude, are you challenging yourself today? Do it. So boom, here we go. We go into business. I actually am working with Stanford and then COVID happens and some things get wiped out. Well, guess what? Now I'm working with UCSF, second highest rated medical university in the United States. There's a PhD there that is a physiopsychologist, Dr. Sabra Enslick. She wants to look at it for headache relief and anxiety for PTS. She works at the VA in San Francisco and working with Palo Alto VA. Dr. John McQuaid, great people, unbelievable, great researchers. They, together with my company, we're working on developing a pilot study, quality improvement study to get the medical efficacy. So they've tried it, they've seen it. And then I keep feeding them information from police and 911 dispatchers. So within the last year and a half, I had Santa Rosa, California Police Department Chief John Cregan come up to me at a business event I was speaking at. He says, I think you have something to help my PTS claims in my police department. Here's my card. Gave him my card. We end up working for like 8 months. And I get a letter from them talking about migraine relief and eye fatigue relief. Stress relief from their 911 dispatchers and that it's keeping them on the job. They didn't have to go home from migraine. They translate that to, Joe, you saved our police department $200 to $300 by us not having to have a dispatcher come in from their off day or have a dispatcher stay overtime. So you saved her pain, you saved her sick leave days off, and you saved our department about $300 to $500. And I said, okay, so you correct me if I'm wrong, but I was tough on math. I didn't get math real easy, man. I got up to calculus 1 and that was about it. And I didn't do very good either. So, knucklehead here fighting his way through. Okay. So I'm like, tell me if I'm wrong. If we save you one headache at your police department one time a month by one person not going home from a migraine, based on a $300 to $500 benefit to your department and your city, you telling me we're saving your police department and your city $300 to $500 and keeping better staff? He says, yeah. So it's $3,000 to $5,000 at the end of 1 year. And I'm like, so for $140 or whatever the price, $145, you can save $3,000 to $5,000 on a one-time $145 price point. And they're like, yeah. And it's keeping our community safe. So by you helping people in a drug-free way, those officers and dispatchers are what are called duty ready. Meaning if you take a migraine med, you're not on the job anymore. Go home. You can't function. You got a pharmaceutical active in your body. You're not going to do a first responder's job with Pharmy in your blood. Okay. It might work for everybody else somewhere, and that's great. And I'm not competing or trying to put anything down. But when it comes to first responders, you have to be duty ready. So they're talking about uses for duty ready. I'm like, okay, take a couple of days off construction. Let's call different police departments. So I got migraine relief from Santa Rosa PD, literally in 24 hours. I ended up working, and here's a funny thing. This is how hard it can be if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Everything starts with a no. When I call people, introduce them, it's kick rocks. It's not so much anymore, but it was. So I call San Diego, California police, big metropolitan city, and it's no. Well, then at the end of the Santa Rosa PD thing, I get the letter from the cops, migraine relief dispatchers. Okay, send me a sample. 3 days later, we'd like to order 50 temple massagers, San Diego PD wellness unit. I work with the wellness units. So 7 days after that, and again, Mark, you got all these letters, brother. So 7 days after they receive 50 devices, the wellness unit director calls me, sends me a letter, and says, here, I just got this email from our child abuse detectives and background investigators. And they're talking about instant relief, mood change to the positive, like they feel better, happy, relaxed. And I thought, my God, my thing's helping people that have to look at and deal with the worst thing possible, child abuse detectives. My God, if I could help distract somebody through my invention that are working in that capacity, man, that makes me super proud and unbelievably lucky to have this fight on my hands. So we ended up working with Denver police, Cleveland police. It goes on and on. I've sold to multiple departments, and I'm still trying to get it out there. Things like you having me on your show is a big help to get the word out. I'm still the independent entrepreneur. Investors laughed in my face. A lot of them said, we want you to make it in China. We're not going to work with you. And I'm like, Lee Howe, see you, dude. I'll work out of a cardboard box. The problem they have is I'm a happy guy. Nobody's going to take that away from me. And then if you think you're going to provide me a bad day, you got something else coming, dude. I provided myself the worst day of my life. I couldn't save my buddy who drowned in the Army Reserve. I don't think you're going to top that. I beat my shit out of myself. So we're past all that now. So it is made in USA. That ain't going to change. So consequently, I never had any investors. I was like, kick rocks. Done. We're done. You just said the worst thing you could say to me. You step on a landmine, dude. And I know a lot about landmine fields. So that was my job in the Army. So I'm super proud and stoked to have fought through all that adversity, which makes it funner and more challenging. And I get a bigger reward out of having adversity. And now we're working with police, fire. I just worked with the San Francisco Fire Department. They told me after 3 months, and that was all through UCSF meetings. They said that we're going to refer you to Los Angeles Fire Department Behavioral Health. And my staff are fighting over the use of the device. I mean, it's just crazy. But trying to introduce something new in this world is very difficult. You get downed. And the number one thing is people don't want competition. They don't want you cutting into their money stream, so I'll let you imagine who that might be. But it's a beautiful thing to have testimonials coming in all the time. Just got one from Cleveland police. And so I'll give it a break there.
You've probably been watching, folks. So if you're on the podcast, you don't get to watch. I've been using the device during the show just now. I am I wish I could debunk it and tell you that this is hogwash. It's the real thing, man. It's doing something to me while I'm sitting here listening to the show, and it's the smell is amazing. You put a little lotion on the tips.
You can just smear the lotion right on your skin too. You don't have to put it on the tips. So you put it like on your jaw and right here. And that what he's getting to is it breaks the friction, so you don't rub your skin raw. It's very important. And that everything I made is 100% custom. Has never been created for. So like the product is all custom made, 100%. I had to pay for all the big molds. Everything's out of my pocket. I took the chance. I'm holding the bag, right? But that lotion's killer because I work with an apothecary out of Arizona, and it's beeswax, mango butter, shea butter, coconut oil, and they added a little bit of arnica, which is an herb. It's been around for hundreds of years for pain relief. It's great. I use it on my lower back when I go gold mining. Not a young buck anymore, so a day of panning, my lower back's screaming when I'm up in the Sierra Nevada mining gold. I rub that arnica on my back, and it is helpful beyond belief, man. So the other thing that we put in there is St. John's wort, another herb, which is anti-inflammatory. So I tried to bring every holistic practice into one tool, and that lotion is a big part of it.
Yeah, he's thought of everything, because this is a little tri-tip here, and then you can flip it around. It's got a single kind of nobular. And then you got a big, wide, knobby one, and then it's not as big, knobby one. And I don't know, man. It's doing the trick. I'm not. If I keep it up, I won't be able to stay on the show much longer. But everything can be stored in the handle right here.
What?
I don't want to share all the secrets, but
going the wrong way. There you go. So if you can see that, I'm trying to get it's all blurry, but the lotion, the lavender oil, it's all inside the handle here.
Yeah, right inside there.
Do we still? Can I say something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is your show, brother.
Sweet. So I'm sorry it's blurring out, but when I created it, this is like the third version. Okay. I had VA clinicians telling me, like, I've been to tons of events, man. Stanford School of Medicine, neuroscience, VA, TBI conferences, forums. That's where you present your abstract. That's the data is on the abstract, right? That introduces the device, and it's like a white paper, but it's an abstract. Explains medically what this is, how it works. So I had clinicians tell me, Joe, too many veterans carry guns. And, when you think about that in terms of suicide, okay, it has a conversation to be had. And I said, well, duh. We were all conditioned to carry weapons. You find your safety, comfort, and security in your weapon. I mean, people can recognize this, right? So I thought to myself, what if I made the handle fatter? In other words, fill the hand more. And so we fattened up the handle. And then I asked my manufacturer, I want to make this out of ballistic nylon, because that's what the pistol grips and hand guards are made of. M16s, M4s, a lot of pistols now, but back in the day, I had my A1 M16. It was standard ballistic nylon pistol grip and hand guards. And I thought to myself, what if we could give a veteran something to put in their hand, okay, that's made of the same material as a pistol grip and handguard. And what do we fatten it up? Because the handle wasn't this fat. Now it's fatter. So you can see how it fills my hand, right? And what if I just did that to try to supplant, because I took my cue off of a cigarette smoker trying to quit smoking. They put like a wooden shaped Bic lighter in their pocket. So you got your hand in your pocket and you're fiddling around with your lighter, like you fiddle with your change or something, right? And they'll give you cinnamon sticks to put, and you poke on a cinnamon stick or whatever, right? To get you to do something. Well, I was on a subsequent podcast with somebody else, and there was a psychologist, and she said, do you know what you did? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to solve a problem with my brothers and sisters, man. Well, Joe, that's habit replacement therapy, like a cigarette smoker. The fiddling in the hands with the pocket and the lighter, the fiddling with the cigarette, putting it between your hands, that's called tactile stimulation. You making this with a big fat handle out of ballistic nylon is tactile stimulation. It is called habit replacement therapy. So I'm like, okay, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just trying to solve a problem, man. You know, so one year, I don't know what time it was, if I think I had this new one or right there, but I had a guy who's a combat medic. And I think I sent you this, Mark. Guy writes me and he says, hey, do y'all offer discounts? The person who rubs my temples isn't available, or I can't afford it. And I've marked my wrist with a knife. And something about the temple massager. And I wrote him back immediately. And I said, hey, man, the price is paid. I served with you guys that gave all. This is on me. There is no cost. The cost has already been paid. So give me your APO, military shipping address, called an APO. So I said, give me your APO and I'm going to send it out. Like, I stopped what I'm doing and left the construction job. Where you go, Joe? I'm like, shut up, leave me alone. Go to get a temple sergeant, put it in the mail. Combat medic in South Korea just wrote me. I ain't got time to tell you, man. So I send it. I go back to work. I think it was like January, whatever, mid-January. I write him an email and I said, hey, man, did you get that thing? And did it help you at all? He writes me back and he says, I got it. And I feel okay. And for me to say I feel okay is substantial in contrast to 17 months of panic attacks, suicidal ideation, and intense anxiety. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you. And I'm like, my God, okay, well, you know, here we are helping people with suicide ideation, distraction. Again, the olfactory nerve stem with the aromatherapy pretty much stops you from thinking. It's a distraction. The autonomic nerve, just kind of releasing that brain chemistry through the relaxation response. Again, it's exemplified by the brain chemistry of dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. I didn't know all this. I'm not trying to run a game on anybody. I had to look all this up and I had to go learn it. And I had to beg PhDs and doctors to just talk to me because they'd look at it and they're like, what's this hippy dippy shit or whatever they would think. And I'm like, hey, man, you know what? You've never seen this before. Of course, you're not going to know what it looks like. Of course, it's not going to be familiar to you. What do you think people said when they saw the first TV set? Hey, man, how'd you get those people in that little box, you know? So I had to beg to go get this information and fight and piss people off and knock on doors. What are you doing here? I'm like, you ain't never going to insult me. You ain't capable. And nor are you authorized. I'm on a mission. So I would extract that intel and information. And then now it's all been confirmed because now I'm working with UCSF and PhDs. And they're like, you're right on the money. Because I tell them, like, tell me I'm wrong. Am I full of shit? Tell me I'm wrong. Because if you can't, we're marching forward. And I would like you to do it with me. Pull up a flank. Let's fire a maneuver. Let's go. So that's how I know about all this autonomic nerve stem and the combination of the olfactory stem. And you're welcome to share those letters. I think I sent you that email from the combat medic talking about suicide prevention. So there's the last thing I want to talk about, that through my thought process, I wanted the product to somewhat simulate what it felt like to have a weapon in your hand. And there you go.
Incredible. Incredible. Credible with credibility. No, you're super onto something here, brother. I wish my team all had one in their hand right now, and it is doing what it needs. And that Susan Alloway, you need to grab her up to be a spokesperson for you, because she's just blowing up the comments with the information here.
She's a believer. This was awesome.
It's not hard to believe when it works, and that's the whole thing. If we can get these into people's hands, it'll be a slam dunk. And it's sit it right next to your TV stand, and just as you're watching TV, throw it in. While you're driving, I don't know if you should do it.
Nah, don't do that. Don't drive and use it, because it can distract the hell out of you. We don't need that when you're driving, man. Just wait till you get
take a napski. Yeah. You'll take a napski on the way there.
I mean, I guess maybe if you had one of these automated driving cars, you could do it, but don't do it.
I know, right? Craziness.
Yeah.
Just quick shout out, Richard Fleek. We are with you, brother. I want the world to know, and he posts his stuff out on his page, but it wouldn't hurt to just keep him in your thoughts and let him. He's going through his stuff, and he it's good to see you here, brother. Normally they're doing a podcast about this time too, but things might be changed up a little bit right now for him. So keep Richard Fleek in your thoughts. I believe in Joe and the Temple Massager.
Right on, Susan. You're awesome.
Drug-free health tool for every home. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna send you another device because we made a few tweaks. I think I mentioned it to you on the backside, but I'm actually gonna send you another one, and it's got an improvement tweak on it. And so we'll continue our conversation. I want to get those logos made for you. The black background, it's cool. It helps that green pop a little bit better.
You're not wrong. We'll love it.
Sure.
Ballistic nylon, man. We borrowed from weapons material to healing material.
Wow.
Awesome.
How fun. We are going to take another quick break here. Just let everyone take a Musa moment. And we're going to put up our good friend. He's currently retired. Thank you for your service, Mr. David Allen. Serving as a first sergeant at the time. But we got David Allen with Bury These Birds.
You're a soldier, takes a stand, holding it only. It's just a plan, facing your demons, dragging you down. But I'm right here to show you now that you're not alone. A survivor who thinks he's on his own, a different place than the one where you left your home. And these people, well, they don't understand how you feel, but I do. And I'll bury these burdens with you. There's an empty spot inside your soul, holding you back to make it on your own, saying you're no good with no backbone. But I'm here to stay and to say that you're not alone. A survivor who thinks he's on his own, a different place than the one where you left your home. And these people, well, they don't understand how you feel, but I do. And I'll bury these burdens with you. Man, you're not on your own. Man, just come back home and talk about what this is really all about. you're not alone. A survivor who thinks he's on his own. A different place than the one where you left your home. And these people, well, they don't understand how you feel, but I do. And I'll bury, yes, I'll bury, and I'll bury these burdens with you. Yeah, bury these burdens.
That is David Allen Stone with Bury These Burdens.
I'm not gonna lie, Mark. I keep waiting for us to come back on the screen here, and you're all snoozed out in the back. we could see him back there on the bottom. Keep waiting for him to get out.
So here is a true confession, and we're not in the same space. Andrea's over an hour away from me. Jonathan's over 30 hours away from me. Joe he's on the other side of the country from me. And Andrea, do you remember what we were talking about before so it was at around the 5 o'clock hour time? Do you remember what I was talking about? And if you don't, that's okay. We don't need to.
No. Can you give me a hint?
So I've got five screens because I got to count my phone too. I got 5 screens up here, and I've been working on inviting and promoting our show and getting all of our guests lined up. And so I have mountains and mountains and mountains. We've got over 200 musicians in our network that we've been working with. We've got other people, and I had this excruciating, brain-pounding headache coming into the show. And I normally don't say stuff. You know what? Sorry if this is you and this is your world, but if anything was ever happening, you won't see it on a Facebook post or a social media post. If my leg gets lopped off or anything like that, you'd show up one day at another event, and I'd be without a leg, and you wouldn't even know it. It is what it is. You're not going to know. And so I don't tell people when I'm not feeling well. I don't tell people when I've got a headache. I don't tell people what's share a book in the house. Got to do it. He's been here like almost every weekend for the bunches of weekends here. He didn't text me back when I texted him, but it's whatever. But I don't have that headache right now. And I want to blame it on this device because I was using it. Because there's nothing that I haven't been doing that would promote me not to have the headache, because I'm still working on the screen and I'm still working, and I'm gonna know now. No, he don't know what he's doing.
So we just helped you in real time. Is that what you're just saying?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, I want to say yes.
Incredible.
How do you do this? I mean,
Incredible.
because again, I know that the world gets real iffy and this and that, and they all think there's a controversy around every corner and everything. But I didn't even think about that until Jonathan just brought that up, and I was just like, okay, you know what? Here's real. During Mr. David Allen Stone's song. That song is about you're okay, and there's tools that you can put in your place or in your space to help you be okay. And that's relationships, and that is us being here for you. And we constantly are looking for new ways to help promote health and fitness and the mindset, the positivity. We don't get into those funks because you know what? It does no one any good for you get into those spaces of just negativity. That adds that stress. I think you all have to have one of these. I really do. I wish I was like who's that TV show host that there's one for you and one for you, one for you.
Oh yeah,
where they give
Oprah?
Is it Oprah? Yeah, probably.
Or-
Yeah, well, she's got a little bit bigger bankroll than I do, but that's all right. But I do
blaming
want everyone.
Shannon.
Everything. What is Shannon Book celebrating for you, Jonathan? Do you have any idea?
I'm sorry, I was typing. What was that?
Well,
I think it was,
Shannon Book said way to go.
I think it was pointing out what you were doing behind the scenes.
Maybe so.
Maybe
Oh.
so.
He said you didn't think about it until I brought it up. I bet that's what he's saying.
Oh, okay. That maybe, yeah, you're right.
He's probably jealous. Thinks that,
So, you want a funny story or a cool veteran story?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, back to my TV writing Hollywood little footprint that I had. So I'm working with Michael Weinberg, and like the person I was staying with, he was just letting me crash on his couch. He got weird on me, and somebody told me he was jealous or something, and I don't know. But the guy rocked my world a little bit the night before my pitch to Comedy Central. And so he kind of knocked me off my game, and we had a little argument, and it was just dumb. And I'm like, okay, you know what, man? I'm going to pack my bags. I literally have my duffel bag. I didn't have luggage or anything. I was so broke, you know. I'm like, this, and he wanted me to go party with him. I said, I'm not going to go party the night before an unbelievably lucky opportunity, man, to pitch a TV show. Are you kidding me? So he gets mad at me. I threw a bunch of stuff in a bag and whatever. Next morning, I end up staying there. Next morning, I wake up, I get my clothes on, and I'm out the door. And I go to Century City, and I meet Michael Weinberg in the lobby, and we're going to sit and do a couple-minute recap and get ready for our pitch to Comedy Central executives. And so we're sitting there, and everything's cool. Well, this was after 9/11. And so you can't get into the buildings, go up the elevator without going through security check. So we're in line to do the security check, and Michael says, you got your ID on you, right? And I start doing the pat, where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? And I'm like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Well, because of the night's little argument I had with my friend, somehow I left my wallet in my duffel bag, and I didn't have my ID on me. And so Michael looks at me and he sees me patting around furiously, checking all my pockets 5 times. And I'm like, oh my God. And Michael looks at me, he's like, you got to be kidding me, dude. You forgot your ID. You just wrecked your opportunity. And I'm like, stay in line. And he just wants to get out of line and call it a day. And I'm like, stay in line, Michael. I'm usually trying to be meek, and I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4", 250, like to work out. So he's kind of a smaller frame guy than me, frankly. And I'm like, stay in line. I kind of Sergeant Meisch kind of comes through, stay in line, shut your mouth, stay in line. And he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And we get up to the counter, and there's 2 security guys. One of them has a Semper Fi Marine Corps pin, Anchor Globe, on his lapel. So I'm like, there's my savings grace. So I walk up to the guy, gentlemen, kind of what are you doing today? Who are you going to see? Kind of state your business type of thing. And Michael just hands his ID. And I said, Semper Fi, brother. He's like, Semper Fi, Marine. I said, nah, Semper Liberantes, always working. Army, combat engineer. Oh, you were an engineer? Yeah. Oh, man, I watched you guys blow this up. I wanted to be an engineer. I got stuck on a cannon cocking crew. I was artillery and engineers, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, man, fun stuff, landmine field work ain't that great, but demo is exciting. And without skipping a beat and shifting my tone, I said, yeah, demo is exciting. And you know what, brother? This is the biggest meeting in my life right now because I wrote a ridiculous comedy show and I forgot my wallet because somebody knocked me off my game last night. And he looks at me. Michael's looking at me like Johnny on the spot moment. Are you going to get into the TV thing or did you blow it? Right? Did Joe blow it? And the guy looks at me, the Marine, and he says, you know what? You're going to have a really good meeting today. The elevator's right that way, Joe. Thanks for your service. I'm like, thank you, brother. I turn around with Michael. We walk to the elevator. Michael looks at me and says, I don't know anybody in Hollywood that could do what you just did. I said, that's the power of the veteran brotherhood, bro. It's a bond you're not going to break. We might have our differences and squabbles and bitch and fight. That just makes it tougher. And it's a beautiful thing. And it paid off for me in that one moment. I was so stoked to be a veteran. And then we had the meeting with Comedy Central, and it was great. Hope that wasn't boring.
No, not boring at all. It's the conversation that we have all the time about having. We do events all over the country, and we hang out with people that we have never met, and it is like we've been brothers and sisters with them our entire lives, and it's because the common thread of service. And I don't have an answer to why it works out the way it does. It's exciting. It's fun. It's the joke about me getting out to put my paws on people. I'm not a really huggy kind of person, but that's been the joke. I'm going to get a chance to put my paws on you. Yeah, it's good stuff. Shannon Book's one of these folks, man. A musician out of Texas that got to have a chance to put my paws on him a couple times in life, and I'm hoping it's not the last. We'll make some things work. Oh, there he is.
Nice.
Eric. I won't remember. I know his name, but it's Oleg Schlager, and I don't do a good job.
Yeah.
The Chattel Foundation out of Texas. Shannon Book, an amazing musician, and then the glue of the People's Patriot Project, Andrea Eichmann, in that photo. That's probably about 7 years old now.
Oh, I think 5.
OP Vet Fest.
Did you say that was in Texas?
Yeah.
All my family's from Texas.
Andrea got introduced to fire ants when she was down there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I danced. I don't even dance. And there I was. Bobby's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. My ankles itch. He's like, okay.
Those are no fun.
No.
The fun part was after I figured it out, there was a big guy and he was sitting up in the front row, and I'm watching, and all of a sudden his legs pounding on the ground, and he's swinging it around, and he's like itching his ankle, and I'm like, I need to tell him his foot is on the fire ants right now because someone told me. Thank goodness. And whew, it was dumb. It was silly dumb.
Yeah, I remember being in Texas as a kid. I'm born and raised in California because my old man was in the Air Force. He came through California and ended up moving here when he got out. But I remember being in Texas a lot because I got a ton of family there. And my mom would tell me, yeah, when you were a kid, a couple times I found you with red ants all over you stinging. You're just crying because you're sitting on a nest. Great, smart kid, huh?
I mean, maybe it would have hurt worse if you moved, so you just stay.
Kids.
Who knew you could be a knucklehead that young, huh?
I mean, I teach middle school, so I'll just keep my comments.
Never.
I don't know that I've ever outgrown it. I'm still a knucklehead. So we have some exciting news here. There's one thing. Everyone has the chance to go to Mr. Meisch's website for Temple Massage. Tell us what's the next big thing for you, Joe. Where are you going?
The next big thing for me is to complete some work with Travis Air Force Base, air traffic controllers. We're working hard to get a pilot study. They call it a quality improvement study with UCSF and the VA. Because that way, we've got what's called medical efficacy, meaning it's not just me and my anecdotal data from, combat commanders, police, etc. And then that way it puts you in a medical category of an actual, device, so to speak, with an actual data collection that indicates that it does help with headaches. Now, I can sit here and tell you it's going to help with your headache, but I got to be careful. You just have your own experience there real time, which is great. I don't want to make claims because I don't have the medical efficacy yet, but we're working on that. And part of getting that is you have to have a credentialed research PhD to be your primary investigator. That's how these things work in adult world, right? And again, like I said, I don't run my mouth unless I got a document to back it up. Well, that's all anecdotal data, okay? That's not like a full-blown pilot study. So I try to be careful what I say. I don't want to make any promises to anybody. So if we can continue to work with these people at the VA and UCSF, and we're supposed to be getting linked up with Behavioral Health Los Angeles Fire Department because they obviously went through some stuff, to put it mildly. So we're hoping to get our efficacy done. We're trying to do fundraising for the pilot study, and that's the last big hurdle. For me, my day-to-day goals are spread the word that there's a new tool in the scene that emanated and originated out of Fort Operating Bases that's helping people across the board, first responders, veterans, civilians, to keep that message going on. And we can help people, and if it helps you with your anxiety, your headache, or just feeling better, what's the value of you not having to have to process a pharmaceutical through your stomach, liver, and kidneys? What's that worth to you? I don't know. I'm sure it's worth something, but there's the day-to-day, there's the big goals, the small goals for me moving forward. And we're going to keep innovating the device. We're working on making a vibrating version. So I'm always trying to think, and I love people's input because I can't think of it all. So like you made some suggestions. I'm really grateful to have you just engage your brain on a topic that I'm working on. It's hard to find that these days. So I very much value anybody's opinion that's going to give me a thought. And I might have already thought of it. We might have already worked on it. It didn't work out, but I don't care. If you're thinking for me, that means you're helping other veterans. If you're helping me, you're helping other veterans. You know what I mean? I paid it forward, man. I've donated 6,000 around the world. And again, that was for Curtis and Mike and their memory. So I live their memory. Their names are being used ubiquitously across my company. And so anybody that's helping me, you're helping them and you're helping other veterans.
Excellent. Well, he's constantly giving, and I've told him to stop doing it, but he doesn't listen very well. And so we are being blessed by Mr. Meisch and his direction and what he thinks is appropriate. And so any of our listeners, if you go to www.templemassager.com and you choose now, I fancified this one. If you're listening to the podcast, you won't see this. I took some liberties and threw a WP3 crest on the black version of it. That doesn't exist. We're having some conversations. But you get a 20% discount if you put, and I think that's supposed to be a capital E now that I think about it. So
I think it all
notes.
It ends up being not case sensitive. I don't think so.
It's not case sensitive. Oh, then that's better. So
you're good.
You can go order one of the devices today with the code WEP3, and you get a 20% discount on the product. So thank you, Joe, for that Again, it is about, here's the deal. Talking with Joe, if it was all covered and it was all paid for and everything was done and everything was taken care of, he would give all these away. He would. It's the same thing that I tell my team. If we had the money in the coffers, we would cover every ask that came through without a question. But unfortunately, we have to vet some of the things because bottom line, people reach out, they need help, they need support, and we want to do that. But unfortunately, we don't do a ton of fundraising, so to speak, to keep money sitting in the bank waiting for the asks. And so, Joe, thank you for the amazing gift of you, and the amount of work you've put into this and the passion that you have. There's been several guests that have popped on tonight that have literally vouched for the device and what it does. And I can literally vouch for what the device does. This is too good to be true, man.
Thanks for the compliments. I mean, I appreciate that very much, Mark. And so your energy and engagement is greatly appreciated for sure, because everything we're doing is to help other people, so I'm grateful to be here.
Let's do one last song and then we'll come back for final thoughts. We've got lined up for us tonight our good friend out of Nashville, Shannon Book's good friend out of Nashville, Mr. Scotty Hastings, Red, White, and Blue.
Almost got all my things packed, every picture that I had, every handwritten letter sent to me. My medal's polished on my chest, my uniform has just been pressed, my dress boots shining perfectly. I've been gone way too long. Send me home on a one-way flight. I'm coming back for good this time, to the place where I was born and raised. Send me home to my family and drape the flag right over me. Now that I've done all I can do, send me home under the red, white, know the moment my plane lands, I'll be with my mom and dad again. I hope that they'll be proud of me. We did our job, we paid the cost, every one of us we lost. Remember this with every breath you breathe. Under the stars and stripes, freedom don't come free. Send me home on a one-way flight. I'm coming back for good this time, to the place where I was born and raised. Send me home to my family and drape the flag right over me. Now that I've done all I can do, send me home under the red, white, send me home on a one-way flight. I'm coming back for good this time, to the place where I was born and raised. Send me home to my family and drape the flag right over me. Now that I've done all I can do, home under the red, white, and blue. Send me home under the red, white, and blue. Under the red, white, and blue. Under the red, white.
That is Scotty Hastings, Red, White, and Blue. I was like the perfect match of music tonight. It was cool, calm, relaxing. I'm in a special place. I'm going to be honest with you. It is time for us to bring our show to a close with our final thoughts. And Jonathan's the guy that usually starts this bad boy off.
Oh, nice. I unmuted before I started talking. Man, sometimes you just, I don't know if maybe this is a tribute to where Mark's coming from and right now maybe, but there's a different kind of what's the word I'm looking for, like a mellow, right? Sometimes you're stuck in a place and you're not doing anything and you're just kind of not growing, you're stagnant, and then there's a weight off my shoulders and taking all the burdens off, and I'm in a good place, and they're very similar feels, I would say, but one of them comes with a little bit of guilt, and one comes with a little bit of relaxation and restoration. I don't know where that thought's going, just something that popped into my head. But make sure when you're in that comfort zone that you're in that comfort zone because you took the burdens off and decided to have a small break, not because you're stagnant and not moving forward. Even in growth, there's moments where you need to rest and recuperate and recharge. So I guess that's where we're going to end with that one.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan. Andrea.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to piggyback on Jonathan, but Joe, I do want to say, I know your tool is a tool of relaxation and help and a break, but the way you present your tool and your calm demeanor, when I say calming, how would I say calming? Because I know you're a busybody, but we got to talk to you the other night and then hear some more about it tonight. And the effect of what you share is calming. You care. You were looking for relief and found it, but brought it to share with others. And that like, it takes a lot. That kind of stirs up, I don't know. I guess if I reflect a little bit, there's a connection to, well, and I've said it before. We haven't had a first responder or a veteran on here who hasn't wanted to give back, even whether they were here on purpose or not. And even musicians who just wanted to write a song or make music end up wanting to give back. And so it's very appreciated. It's very inspiring to hear how you came through this development and found this and perfected it and offered to help others. We know it takes a lot. I mean, just to get a patent on a podcast or a name is kind of a crazy story too. But it kind of inspires me always to keep digging, keep being better, keep growing, and be willing to take a break. I just texted Peterson, bring that on Tuesday because I want to try it. So he may or may not get it back. I'll have to order my own, but if I see him on Tuesday, I have a meeting. I don't know that he's coming, but yeah, I appreciate that, and I really am looking forward to. I just had my shoulder and my upper arm all needled this week, and I have a feeling this temple massager is going to do a lot of the same thing, but probably much more gently. I still have some after effects, twitching muscles and whatever, but I am super looking forward to it, and I thank you for bringing it on and bringing all your passion and the story behind it, all the stories behind it. Thank you for bringing those along tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And, this is coming from the heart. And I'm always reminded, when it's ugly and hard and difficult, nobody's believing in you and you're getting roadblocks and no's and all that negativity. I'm lucky to have a challenge. I'm lucky to have a fight on my hands, and I'm very grateful for it. And it ends up with helping people. Then I feel like, I'm doing my creator's work. I'm trying to take the best of me that the Army helped shape out of a raw guy at 19, and through, maturity and growing, being able to recognize that you're lucky to be in a brawl and be in a fight, and so I just feel lucky, and I want more people to benefit from this. So I appreciate your kind words.
Honestly, that's and then you brought more perspective into it. So that's very cool. I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing you again, and we'll probably see you around. And I'm just my brain was going right to any vendor show that we ever have. I hope you are able to make it or send someone to make it to those, because I just feel like that's an amazing product to help out.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about live events this week. We're coming out of winter, and so it's time to start thinking about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just got invited to work out the details, but I just got an invite to go to Palo Alto VA to work with VA staff. So, those things don't come lightly. You don't get invited to, medical symposiums or conferences or forums. People in hospitals, they don't bring people in from the outside very often. So for me, I'm grateful to have earned the respect and the right to get that invitation.
Absolutely. That's a big climb. Climb.
Well, you're an absolute blessing to us. We thank you for everything that you've done. Again, folks, remember, if you log into the templemassager.com website, there is a 20% discount if you just type in the code WEP3. I do want to outwardly say thank you to Adam Bird for the introduction to Joe and Heroes Media Group.
Yep.
Thank you for what you've done, Adam, and the constant drive that you are in the mission to help veterans and first responders as well. Again, thanks for the team and all those that have put work together during this week. And it's just been blessed by what we get to experience because of the mission. We appreciate all of you. Real quick, our guests next week are Tommy Richardson
with Divine Savagery.
Yes.
And then
Hank Barb. I got some stuff mixed up. I thought that was the cancellation, but that's the week after. So no, that's Tommy Richardson. Yes. And gosh, guys, Hank Barb with Three Beards. You don't want to miss Three Beards. These guys are, I don't even know how to.
They're just cool. Their music is, and they're amazing people. Number one, he's not just a musician. He's not just a veteran. He's involved in many things still. And what is the name of their show? He and his friend.
Do Good.
The Do Good show.
Do Good. Yeah, Do Good show. Yeah.
Yeah, and they travel around looking for not always nonprofits, but groups that are just doing good stuff around the country, and then they they do fundraisers and award them money. It's cool stuff. I don't know if they've done it since, the Ukraine war kind of slowed them down because, yeah, stuff. And anyway, I know, right?
It is what it is. Yeah. They're on our show 2 years ago on our show, and the next week they're in Ukraine being part of the battle, which we had a number. Scotty Frazier out
There he is.
area, Texas as well. Amazing musician as well. Get him on. Give you a heads up. We can't give you details yet, but there is an event here in Minnesota coming up July 18 and 19. We've been tasked with bringing in some musicians for that. They've picked those musicians. Those letters of intent have been put out. That will be coming up in the real near future. It is a done deal. Our veteran musicians will be coming into Minnesota for that one. And then we've got a big event coming up in August that we're trying to get off the ground as well. But more to come with that. Thank you again, Joe, for being on here. Thank you for EP3 team for doing here. Thank you for all the listeners that come watch and participate. We've got some new friends out there. Please don't be shy and come back again. Come check us out. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then tomorrow at 4:30, you'll hear everything that the People's Patriot Project is working on that we can tell you. That's weird. I never thought I'd be in a business where you gotta keep secrets, but that's just kind of the way the world works, I guess. I don't know. We're actually going to end with one more song tonight, just because we can. And again, Joe, thanks. I said that too many times, probably now.
It's all right, man. I'll take it again. That's okay.
Log in.
Thank
Go help Joe out. Here's the reality. Even though he's giving us a discount, he's making the resources he needs to make, and the accountability to make sure that people see and find this tool and use this tool. Put it out there, get it out there. It'll be on our social media. We appreciate everyone. Patriot Pride. And here is Michael Buck, Irish Road.
Around resurrection, laying rest to wayward souls. We never saw our future, only memories to hold of a place much rich and greener. I left my West Virginia home. I gambled all I had away to walk down the Irish road. Dry and barren, but they say Jesus walked these streets. Keep a Bible right beside my head each night when I'm asleep. Well, I used to not believe it, but Mama prayed to save my soul. 'Cause Lucifer's alive and well, he lives down the Irish road. St. Bridget, come and save me before the devil takes control. Once what was a heart of gold is now as black as coal. And I still see all the faces I laid beneath the cobblestone. Each night they come and haunt me from down the Irish road. Set fire to Armageddon, I rained the brass down in the sand. cried out for Janie as he reached and took my hand. But now the piper man's blowing while the angels take him home. St. Michael lost another son down the Irish road. I pray St. Bridget come and save me before the devil takes control. Once what was a heart of gold is now as black as coal. And I swear I see the faces I laid beneath the cobblestones. Each night they come and haunt me from down the Irish road. Every night